Hey there, so we're just going to have a little look at the equations chapter for 5th class this week. Now, equations, you have been doing them since you've been doing 1 + 1 = 2. All an equation is a math sentence. It has a statement in it. It's telling you that something is the same as something else. Sometimes it will be telling you something is greater than something else or something is less than something else, but generally speaking, it's telling you that something is the same. Now, there are closed sentences and open sentences. A closed one, nothing for you to fill in. You just have to look at it and see if it's true or false, or if we like to say, correct or incorrect. An open sentence has a box. There's something mysterious that you have to figure out. Again, nothing new here. You've been doing this all along ever since junior and senior infants. So looking at the first page there, you have to say, are they closed or open? Very, very simply, all of the ones with the boxes are open. The next one I was asking you, are they true or false? In other words, are they correct or incorrect? Now, in this case, you're going to have to work out both sides of the sentence. Like, for instance, this one here, 49 divided by 7 is the same as 54 divided by 7. Well, that's obviously not correct. Sure, it's not. So that would be an X. Looking down again further, we're looking for less than, equal than, and greater than signs. And remember, with the less than and the greater than sign, the open side of the sign is always going to be pointed at the bigger number. Remember, the crocodile always has its mouth pointed to the big number trying to eat it up. And the other thing is that whenever there's an equals, you can read your math sentence from the front to the back or from the back to the front. But if you're using one of these signs, always start at the left-hand side and go across. Okay? So look at this one. Look at D. 5 times 3. And on the other side, we've got 7 times 2. So you've got to work out both sides. Well, 5 3s are 15. 7 2s are 14. 15 is greater than 14, so we're going to put the open mouth pointing towards the 15. Look down at the bottom here. It's the same sort of dealio. The numbers get bigger as you go along. Miss Nolan will probably have told you that you don't have to do every single question. You can just do as many as you need to do to get it right for yourself. Once you know what you're doing, you can move on. So looking at this one here, 175 divided by 25. What is it compared to 12 take away 5? Well, 12 take away 5 is easy. That's only 7. 175 divided by 25. There are, in fact, 7 25s there, so that's an equals. Looking at the next page. More equations. So you're going to put the operation sign. Your operation is what kind of sum you're doing. Are you adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing? So make it true by looking at it and trying to figure out what operation you need. Like, look at H here, which is kind of a tricky one. 290, I did something to it. 10 makes 29. Well, I didn't add 10, I didn't subtract 10, I didn't multiply it by 10, I divided it, didn't I? So dividing goes in there. Or looking at this one, 42, did something to it, 6 equals 7. Well, it's not 42 plus 6, it's not 42 take away 6, it's not 42 multiplied by 6, so once again it's dividing. Look at this one. Very often people don't get used to the idea that you can put the answer at the front. You can put the single number at the beginning of your equation. So here's an example of this kind of one. 37 equals 50, and we did something there. Sorry, 37 equals 50, something 13. So what do we think? It's not 50 plus 13. Could it be 50 minus 13? Yes, indeed it is. Now, in this case, rather than putting in the operation, you're going to be putting in numbers. So it's a case of working them out. So here's a nice easy one to start with. 5 plus a mystery number makes 12. Now remember, if you have this kind of pattern, you can often work backwards. What number must I add to 5 to make 12? Is the same sum as 12 take away 5. What number will fit? That's right, it's a 7. Similarly here on C, 6 times some number or other makes 54. What number do I multiply 6 by to get 54? Or I can work backwards. I can go 54 and divide it by 6 and see what number fits. If you're saying 9, you are correct. Now look down at P. 10 take away something is less than 1. What would I have to take away from 10 to get an answer that's less than 1? Now there are a lot of correct answers to this, in fact, but probably the one they're looking for is the answer that will give you a whole number. So if I did 10 take away 9, that would be equal to 1. So here I have to take even more than 9 away. I'm going to have to take the whole 10 away. That answer will be 0, and that's less than 1. Now in number 3, Rory has €100 to spend. Write 5 word problems and then the 5 corresponding number sentences using the symbols less than or greater than only. So, for example, the jacket and the t-shirt cost more than €100. The number sentence would be €96, that's the jacket, €32, that's the t-shirt, and that is greater than 100. So you'll be making up your own ones there. So you could do something like the suit and the shoes cost more than €200, and you'll be writing it in numerals like this. A number sentence that has the equal sign is called an equation. It's one of those clues in the name type of things, isn't it? So what's on the left has the same value as what's on the right. So you're literally trying to balance it. And when you go into secondary school, they'll be talking about balancing equations all the time. And that's what they mean. The two sides have to balance up. And the way you always work these ones is you have to figure out what both sides are worth. You cannot just guess it. So looking down here, 12 plus 9 equals 17 plus who knows. You got to work out this side because you've got all the numbers. 12 and 9 will make, are you saying 21? So 21 is equal to 17 and what? Again, if you want to, you can do it by counting up, or you can go 21 and take away your 17 and figure out your missing number. Okay, this is all not too bad. Keeping going. So here, fractions, decimals and percentages, and you're doing equations. So these look like just normal sums, don't they? Very, very simple. So whenever you see of, you're going to be dividing, aren't you? So half of 64, that's going to be 64 divided by 2. 0.9 of 320. So you're probably going to find 0.1 first by dividing by 10, and then you'll multiply your answer by 9. Okay? 0.75. Can you remember what fraction that is? It's actually 3/4, isn't it? And are there any other tricky ones there? 64% of 550. Wow. So you will be dividing, if you're getting percents, percent means out of 100. So you'll be dividing 550 by 100. You will get 5.5, because when you divide by 100, everything gets 100 times smaller. So that 500 is turning into 5 units. Those 5 tens will turn into 5 tenths, 5.5. Then you'll multiply your answer by 64. Or you might do it the other way around. Now, you may use your calculator while solving these, and I would definitely go for it. Use your calculator. Down here, Sporty's Mega Sale. Now, these are a little bit hard because we're doing reductions. So, the original price there, that's 100%. Okay? So, if you're getting 10% off, you've got to work out what 10% of this is and subtract it away. So, 110, 10% off, divide by 10, and we're going to get 11. So then 110 take away 11, and it's going to be 99 euro. Don't forget to write in your equation, which is going to be 90% of 110, or you could do 110 take away 11 instead if you wanted to do it that way. Both ways are acceptable. And that's the quick look back. We don't need to have a look at that at all. So well done, folks. Hard work.